Hi everyone, welcome to Panthera's Paranormal Odyssey. This is a channel for people who love all things paranormal. I will talk about topics such as hauntings, urban legends, cryptids, stories, and a whole lot more. There will be my own personal experiences along with viewer-featured selections. If you have a topic you'd like to recommend, just email me. My address is below, and I'd love to hear from you all. So let's start today's Odyssey. The Croglan Grange Vampire story. Captain Fisher had told of a really extraordinary story connected with his own family. The Fisher family had a long-standing presence of several hundred years in Cumberland at a place they called Croglan Grange. The family eventually grew out of their house and decided to relocate to the south. But instead of leaving their property vacant, they chose to rent it out to paying tenants. The Cranston siblings, two brothers, Edward and Michael, and a sister, Amelia, moved into the single-story farmhouse. The first cold winter came and went without incident. The following summer was an extremely muggy one. One hot night, the siblings took the opportunity to watch the moon on the porch, drinking tea, talking and laughing with each other before finally turning in. The sister, Amelia, lay on her bed on top of the covers and closed the bedroom window. The shutters remained unlocked, though. Unable to settle down to sleep due to the heat, Amelia gazed out of her window. A church, complete with its own graveyard, stood behind a line of trees. Her eyes caught a glimpse of something concealed in the twilight. Two flickering lights seemed to be moving through the trees, visible from her window. She was intrigued at first, but the longer she watched, the more nervous she became. In a moment, both lights started to emerge from the tree line and into view. It looked as though the lights were a small part of a very large humanoid form. She could not believe her eyes when she saw this hulking creature start coming towards the house. As the figure approached the farmhouse, Amelia was startled and terrified, then suddenly found the utter nerve to act. Amelia raced to the door, arriving in time just to lock it. It seems as though this was not a moment too soon. Amelia could hear a scratching sound coming from her bedroom window. Despite her growing terror, she decided one look backward. She was scared to move at all. Standing outside the window, almost filling it, was a hideous face that had red, piercing eyes. Long, bony fingers made efforts to open the window. A new noise made Amelia freeze with even more fear. Whatever was outside was now picking at the lead seals of the window. No sooner had this sound rendered her immobile than another made her blood run cold. The window fell out and crashed to the floor, and one thin, very dark-colored arm levered in to open the window from the inside. Unable to move or even raise an alarm, the thing moved quickly and was beside her in moments. Sharp teeth nestled into her exposed neck. In pain, she screamed. Her shrieking alerted both of her brothers, who came to investigate. After breaking down the door, the invader fled back the way it had come, into the graveyard. Amelia's brother, Michael, took up pursuit, but he was no match for the giant strides of the creature. It disappeared. Amelia was bleeding quite heavily, but passed off her attacker as an escaped convict from a lunatic asylum. Given her ordeal and the fact that she regarded herself as a girl with very little superstition, it was perhaps an understandable conclusion. Amelia did recover from her wounds, but she needed to recuperate. The three siblings went away on holiday. While away, Amelia yearned to go back to Croglan. She did not know why. Despite the events that took place, it was a decision that was Amelia's, and she decided to return, insisting to others that lunatics do not escape every day of the week. When the family returned home, they spent another placid winter in Croglan. It was during the following March that Amelia started to have uneasy feelings. She knew this creature would return for her. One fearsome night, she began to hear the unmistakable scratching at her window once again. The window once again crashed to the floor. This time, she acted promptly and decisively, screaming for help before the same creature from before managed to gain access to her neck. Both of her brothers responded quickly, only this time they were armed. Her screams also forced the creature to flee once again, and it was heading back to the way it had come. One brother took aim and fired. Despite being hit in its leg, the monster still made an escape and back to the graveyard. Only this time, the brothers were able to track it. The beast had taken refuge inside a crypt that belonged to a family that was from the area. The brothers decided against entering the crypt at the time. Instead, they would gather a group and investigate at daybreak. When they opened the tomb the following morning, they discovered several coffins. Only one of them was intact, but the lid was ajar and laying loosely on top of it. Inside was a corpse with a fresh bullet wound in the leg, pooling with blood in the coffin. The group removed the body. They brought it outside of the crypt. They lit the monster on fire. The creature never returned to Amelia's room. She lived only a short time after the group had killed the hideous creature. This was the tale of Croglan Grange Vampire. I hope everyone listening has enjoyed today's segment of Panthera's Paranormal Odyssey. If you have a recommendation for a topic, please email me. I'd love to hear from you all. I will be uploading 3 segments weekly. If you like today's selection, hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel. It's free and it really helps out. And remember, always look past the graveyard for those glowing eyes. Boo! Bye, y'all.